I make a lot of timer videos for my channel, and I've had people ask me, how do you do it, or can you show me what you do? So here's that video. The program I use for editing all of my videos and making my timer videos is Hitfilm Express. You can get that free on the website. It's at fxhome.com/product/hitfilm. You can download the free version. They do have a paid version, but I've never paid for it. All right, so let's look at just making a time that counts down. So that's the first part that you're going to have to do. So once you have Hitfilm Express open, then you want to open a new project and then go to New, Plain, and then choose a color. In this case, you're going to choose green. So you have like the green screen. And that's because you want to be able to take out the background of your time to put the time overlaid on a video. Now drag this plane onto your timeline. And I'm just stretching it here to kind of cover 20 minutes because that's the video I'm making for Nicole over on Nicole's Bookish Nook on YouTube. She's actually the one that requested that I make a video like this. Okay, once that's done, we're going to want to go to New, Composite Shot. And here it's very important that you make sure you change the duration. You'll see that there's 4 sets of numbers. We're only concerned with the middle 2 sets of numbers, which are minutes and seconds. Nicole wants a 20-minute video, and I like to do like a 3-second countdown, but it does start at the end of like that 3 seconds, so it will really show up as like 2 seconds instead of 3 seconds. So I put in 20 minutes and 4 seconds so that I can get that full 3 seconds in there. Once I have that done, I hit OK, and now you can see a new window opened up here where it says Composite Shot, and in here is where you want to hit New Layer, then Grade. Now we go back to the editor, and on the editor timeline, I'm going to pull down the composite shot, and this is where our timer is going to appear. It's not there yet though. As you can see, it's just still a green screen. Now we go up to effects and type in time, and this will bring up a few things. You're going to click on time code and drag it onto composite shot 1, and now you will see that there is a timer on there, and you can see all 4 of those numbers like before. Now if you hit play, it goes up in time, which is not what we're typically looking for. We want a timed sprint. We want it to go down, but there is an easy way to make this go in reverse. You just go back to effects. You still have time in there, and then you just hit time reverse, and you drag it onto the composite shot. Now it will go in reverse. Now the next thing to do is to get rid of some of these extra numbers because I don't want the ones in the front and on the end. To do this, I go over to the controls panel and I will increase the size. Now, as it increases in size, it does go off the screen on the bottom. So then you have to raise it up the position. You have to raise it up on the axis. So you raise it up until you can see it, and then just keep increasing it and raising the number back up again until you get to where you want it to be cut off. And again, I just want these middle numbers. All right, that looks about right. So now the next thing I want to work on is the fact that these numbers do have a black background. So I'm going to go to background under the effects for time code and then change the opacity to 0. And now we have our timer. I'm going to go down and change the green screen so it's lines up with the actual time to the very end. And now I'm going to export this. And once I export this, I now have a 20-minute timer that I can use with any video. So now all I have to do is just put any videos together I want and use this video that I'm going to export as my timer. I'm not going to sit here and have you guys watch this export. It is a 20-minute long video, but since there's not much going on, it probably won't take a full 20 minutes, but I'm going to go ahead and come back when this is done. And we've got our next project open with Hitfilm Express to make the video for Nicole. All right, I've got another Hitfilm Express project open. This is a brand new one, and I'm going to go ahead and import everything that I have from Nicole. And just so you can see, here's the timer that we just made on the green screen. So now I'm going to import the timer and all the pictures that Nicole gave to me. To import, you just go up to Media, Import, and then find your folder and import your files from there. And when you import images, sometimes it asks if you want to import them as a sequence or as images. Always say images because with the sequence, it like makes it all one file in one video. It's really weird how it does that, but all right. So now I'm going to go ahead and start bringing everything onto the timeline in the editor. First, I'm going to start with the timer, and you can see here that it has an audio link with the timed video, but there's actually no sound there. So what I do is I unlink it so I can get rid of that file being there in the audio section. And it's easy to do that. You just right click on it and then hit unlink and then click on the bottom portion, delete it. Now I need to move this time up to a higher tier because it's going to be over top the video. I'm going to put the video in video 1, the times in video 2, but it is still green screen. So we need to get rid of that green background. And I never remember what it's called. So I just write in green and then I see it. It's a color difference key is what you want to drag onto your timeline. And that's what works with the green screen. You just drag it on there, it gets rid of your green screen so that it's gone. Now you just have your time. And then we can, shrink this down, change the color. We can do different things with it. Can't really change the way the numbers look. It is what it is. There's no other options right now in Hitfilm Express, not the free version anyways. Now I go and I'm going to grab all of the pictures that Nicole sent to me. And this is going to take a little bit of process. I'm going to speed up through this, but basically I'm going to pull all the pictures down. I'm going to look at what they look like, what order it looks like they would go best in, and, mess around with what seems logical to me in the transitions. And I will also do a few things as far as keyframing. Doing keyframe is, if you're moving through a picture instead of just showing the picture as is. And each of these I do a movement with, I keyframe it at different points. Well, I always put the keyframe at the beginning and at the end. And usually I'm changing the position and sometimes the size of each of these videos or each of these pictures as I'm going through them. I also add an effect to combine each picture with the one next to it. And I go to just effect and I like the fade effect. So then I use a fade that transitions over both of them. So it fades one video out as it fades another one in successively. I think this is a nice look. And once I have the initial setup, then I copy it and I paste it over and over again. And you can, Control C to copy, Control V to paste, or Command V and C depending on what you're using. Or you can also just right click, copy, right click, paste. Once I have all of the pictures in place, now it is time to manipulate the time. And that's because the time is there, it's good, but I do like doing the 3-second countdown. And I like to have a little bit of an extended period at the end to say, thank you for watching. So now I'm looking at the time. I've opened that back up again. You can see it and I'm figuring out, okay, where do I put it? Most of the times I put it up at the top left, and that's just because of how it shows on YouTube. So one of the best places is the top left. It's not always best place, but it is one of the best places. And then I also go through and I see what does it look like on each of the pictures that are there, because I don't want it to cover up something that I may actually want to have more visible. If I want it more visible, then I might move where the time is at, or I might shift the picture somehow. In this case, I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to change anything other than just put the time up in the left-hand corner. After that, I do like the time to stand out just a little bit. So I tend to do like a drop shadow, and that's really easy to do. You can just go to your effects and type in drop shadow or look for shadow. It'll come up, you'll see it. And then you drag that onto the timeline. And then I chose green as the shadow, even though we had a green screen there, but I chose green in this case because we do have a lot of green in these pictures. And then you can mess with the different settings. You have, the shadow color that we just changed. You have distance, opacity, scale. These are different things you can change to get different looks. And I kind of want it to look more like of a glow. So I just kept messing with it until I got to like that glow color. And then I just checked to see what it looked like on all the different pictures. All right, after I finish doing that, I go back to the beginning. I do like to do a 3-second countdown. If you remember, I did this for 20 minutes and 4 seconds, but it shows 3 instead of the 4. So I just go to the very beginning. You can scroll, zoom in on the timeline and go to the point where it changes from 1 second to the 20 minutes. So it's 20 minutes and 1 second to 20 minutes. And right at the point where it changes over, that's where I'm going to cut it. And I'm cutting it because I'm going to manipulate the timer, the 3-second countdown. So first I'm going to do a mask, and I'm going to mask over the last second there. And then what the mask does is it cuts out the rest of the numbers in the time. So now that I have just the 3 seconds, and this is the 3, 2, 1, then I can move it and make it bigger, which is what I usually do. I usually move it to the center of the screen and then increase the size. And then I just kind of take a look at it, see what it looks like with the 3-second countdown. There are other things I've done, like I've had the numbers, like every time it changed from 3, 2, 1, I'd have each number kind of get bigger and then smaller, but it's a lot more manipulation with that. All right, now the last thing I manipulate with the time is at the very end. I like to kind of hang out on the end where it says, 0 seconds left to kind of have something come up that says thank you. It does give you a chance to realize, of course, that it's over, that the sprint is done, it's over, the time is done. And then if you're doing this as a video that you're uploading on your channel, it also gives you time to throw up like your playlist or your next video that should be watched, or your subscribe button or your subscribe picture that goes up there when you add your end screen elements. So I go to where it turns to 0, and then I cut it right there because I'm going to manipulate the end. And then I actually choose the stretch tool. And by using this stretch tool, I stretch it all the way to the end of where I think I'm going to stop. And then I'm just kind of looking at it. And now I like to add in some text. And there's lots of different functions on here that you can choose from. Now, some of these fonts may not be available on your Hitfilm Express because these are ones that I have on my computer. You can change the size, you can change the font, you can change if it's a regular font or a bold font, change where it's at on the screen, figure out which one that you like the best. I always say thank you for watching. Next, I like to add the glow effect that is on the time and add it to the thank you for watching. And this can be easily done by right-clicking on one of the times and then click copy, then right-click on the text for thank you for watching, click on paste attributes, and then in the next box, you'll want to just choose the attributes you want to carry over. In this case, you're going to want to uncheck the video transform because we don't want to change the position or the scale of thank you for watching to be the same as the time. We just want the video effects with the drop shadow, and we also want to then also uncheck the color difference key because we don't need that for our text. And after hitting OK on that, then we will have the same drop shadow kind of glow effect on our thank you for watching. Next, I like to add an effect to the text, and in this case, I like the linear wipe. So it comes up, letter by letter by letter. Try and figure out how long I actually want it to last, or if I want to shorten it, which in this case I did shorten it a little bit. And then I just kind of rewatch it back to see, if overall how does it work. And I end up wanting to shorten the end anyways, just a bit. There was just enough time for me to say thank you for watching and to have it up on screen for just a few more seconds. And then the last thing I wanted to do was to add some type of sound at the end to indicate that it was the end of the video. So I went and grabbed some chimes that I had already in my files. I did some more keyframing to change the level and volume of the chimes to make sure it worked well in the video. And then after that, we were done. I was ready to export the file, which I'm going to give to Nicole because this is a video that I made for her. And maybe this is something that she can do for herself in the future. Or maybe you can do something like this in the future if you found this tutorial helpful. Thank you for watching.